Okay, so we're doing the pre and post Aztecs, which include the Olmec style mask, Montezuma's headdress, Codex Mendoza, and the Spaniard Indian produced a mestizo. We're going to go ahead and start with the Olmec style mask.
The Olmec mask is one of the earliest forms of archaeology and predates the Aztecs. It's from 1200 to 400 BCE. The Olmec mask is not actually a mask, but is actually a pendant that was supposed to give the wearer a new identity as an ancestor or a deity. The deity was the Olmec rain god, Tlaloc. There are Olmec glyphs on both sides of the mouth, which are the earliest known writings in America. The glyphs represent the four quarters of the human world, with the king as the ruler at the center. Jade, which is what this piece is made of, was linked to fertility, growth, renewal, and rejuvenation after death.
Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do Montezuma's headdress and the history of Spanish interaction and conquest.
Moctezuma's headdress is a headdress made of quetzal feathers, made of 400, and it is double layered. It is green and blue. And the blue feathers are coating feathers. The feather headdress was worn by Moctezuma, which was a ruler of the Aztec during the period when the Spanish conquerors took over. During the period of 1428 to 1520 CE. It was taken by Cortez and sent to Spain, and it was part of a whole costume. Each quetzal bird only had 2 to 3 plumes of feathers, so 400 would be very hard to gather and would have took very many birds.
Okay, and the next piece that we're going to do is the Codex Mendoza, which talks about the symbolism of deities and beliefs and practices of the Aztecs.
So the Codex Mendoza was made in 1541 to 1542 CE in Viceroyalty of New Spain. This piece was actually commissioned by Antonio de Mendoza to record all the information about the Aztec Empire and used as a map of the city of Tenochtitlan. As you can see, the wavy lines right here are water. They're diagonally from the paper from here to here, and meets in the middle where the eagle is. These diagonal lines signify that the city was divided into 4 parts, and to move around, they would basically use canals, just like the city of Italy of today. The eagle right here kind of looks familiar because it's on the Mexican flag that we know today. It's actually from the Aztec myth, known where the patron deity told them to leave the place they were living at and to find an eagle on a cactus and the cactus was growing from the rock. So once they found this eagle, they would build the city that they were going to live on that specific spot. The weird thing is that they actually found the eagle in the middle of a lake, so they technically built the city on the lake. The men here in white and in little like man buns, they're the leaders that actually led everybody to the city. And as you can see, there's this man right here who's like gray, and there's like a red thing right here. That's actually the priest that they had. Fun fact, actually, this whole map thing was it was translated by a priest into Spanish, so the Spanish could actually understand what's happening. So he's actually great because they have this tradition where the priest will cover himself in their ashes, and the red right here is actually blood coming from his ear, which is like an offering to the deities that they worship. Along with the woven mat right here is actually different from all the other ones. It actually shows the how much power this man has. Yeah, the shield right here actually signifies that they didn't it shows how they didn't go down peacefully, like they didn't find the peace peacefully. They actually had to go into a war, which is this piece right here showing how they defeated some other cities to gain this spot that they have. Also, the funny thing about this piece is that Viceroy Mendoza intended to send the Codex Mendoza to the Emperor Charles V of Spain, but it actually appeared in France because of Andre Thevet, and because when he got the piece, he actually like wrote his name on some of the pages that were on the book, which is, he's like taking the credit. It's kind of rude, but whatever. Also, you guys might be wondering what these weird things are right here. It's actually like a calendar for them. It has 51 year glyphs, which is going counterclockwise. They have this belief where every 52 years it's like a start of a new beginning, basically. And what they do, fire was a big thing, so they would use fire, probably like burn someone. They would burn someone, and then they would like take those flames and they would like hang them in their house, so they know like it's a new beginning. And it also, like, this tradition also will help them like believe that the sun will rise again, and so they could continue on with their lives. And that's it for the Codex Mendoza.
The next and final pieces of Spaniard and Indian produce a mestizo, which have to do with the post-Aztecs.
The Spaniard and Indian produce a mestizo is a very simple composition of a mother on the left and a father on the right. There are two children, the one on the bottom middle, carrying the child on its back, is a servant that's carrying the couple's child. The mother is wearing huipil, which is an indigenous garment from central Mexico. The father is wearing French European style clothes with a powdered wig. It is an oil canvas and a casta painting. A casta painting shows the ethnic mixes that occurred in Spain among Europeans and other races that created a mixed race population. Usually the more darker the people were in the casta paintings, the more mixed they were. This casta painting represents a system of labeling people by their race and color. The people of a different race were called mestizajes. The more lighter the mestizaje was, the more power and opportunities they had, but the more darker features the other race had meant less power and opportunity. Your power and opportunities depended on your skin color and race. This painting was attributed to Juan Rodriguez Juarez in 1715.
To recap, these are the pieces that we did. So we did the Olmec style mask, Moctezuma's headdress, Codex Mendoza, and the Spaniard and Indian produced a mestizo. They went over the pre and post Aztecs.